Hello, everyone. I'm Kerry George with CIBN Connect, and I am so excited today because I have brought with me my lifelong friend and mentor and my mother. And today you're going to find out where I get all of my awesome ability to talk and my charisma from. So I give you Sarah George, woohoo, artist extraordinaire. So Sarah has been an artist all her life, and I brought her on today to talk about her new fashion line. But I want to start out by just talking about, Mom, what was your love and your passion for art when you were young? Like, how did you get started doing art? Like, what was the thing with that?
When I was a little kid, I liked to doodle, and I was really infatuated with Charlie Brown, Charles Schultz, the Peanuts series. So I used to like scribble them things on paper, and when I was 7, I thought I wanted to be an artist, but I didn't know. And yeah, so I sort of had that in the back of my head all my life, and eventually it happened years down the road.
Cool. So when did you first start drawing and painting, like, more frequently and turning it into something?
Oh, I did over the younger years here and there, but nothing really serious because I was too busy. I think I was about 40 when I started to really get into it.
Okay. And what were some of those first pieces like? Like, where did you draw your inspiration?
From being out and about, seeing scenery, things that inspired me was nature and just being out in the wilderness. And I used to just pencil sketch a lot, but eventually I got into color, and then there was no turning back.
You did some early paintings that were in oils, didn't you?
Oh, my very first paintings were in oils, yeah.
Yeah, and then you graduated to acrylic?
Yeah, I painted in oils a little bit on and off from, I don't know, I was probably 25, 30 years old. And then I didn't maybe, I don't know, I think I did like 3 or 4 pictures only in a few years. And then it was 40 when I started to like really serious, more pencil sketching, and they turned out really good. And then I got convinced to go into an art show, and I was like, that was freaky for me because I didn't think I was good enough, but I found what I was. So I kept going after that. And then it was one time, I was probably 45 years old, and a friend of mine says, you should come to this acrylic class with me. And I didn't know anything about acrylics, and she convinced me to come with her. So I went, and I was hooked, and I never stopped painting acrylics after that. That's my favorite.
I remember as a kid you doing a lot of work with oil and then the switch to acrylic. And I also remember that you did a lot of paintings, like murals on the sides of walls and the sides of barns and, all that kind of stuff. And you got commissioned work a lot to do that for people. Tell us a little bit about that commission work.
Oh, that was so long ago I kind of forgot about it. I know I did a unicorn once on a shed for a lady.
I know you painted that.
Greeneries, but I can't remember what I put on them now.
Downstairs in our house in Saskatchewan, we had a full wall mural. Yeah.
Yeah, when we built that new house in Saskatchewan, I wanted to paint a mural on the front room wall, and my husband wouldn't let me. He didn't think I was good enough, and then he'd never really looked at what I could do. And so then he gave me permission to paint on the basement wall. So when I did that, he was away. When he came back, he saw it, and he said, wow, if I'd known you could do that good, I would have said you could do it upstairs. But anyway.
Just showed him.
Yeah.
And over the years, you've been showing a lot of people because something else that happened is you became the artist to the queen. That's what I told everybody you are. And that's true. You are. You're the artist to the queen. Tell us about how all of that happened. How did you end up getting art of yours being given to the queen?
Well, that was a surprise to me, too. I got a phone call from a guy one time. I didn't even know him. And he says, come and meet me down at the Tamarack. This is in Rocky Mountain House where I lived at the time. And I said, well, who are you and why? And they wanted to talk to me, him and another guy, about this project for the Queen. And I go, what? And just come down here and meet us. So I went down and I said, so you want me to do what for who? And they said, we want you to paint elk hides for Queen Elizabeth. I go, what? No way. Like, why me? Like, I can't believe that. Like, you must be have me confused with somebody else. I've never painted on hides or anything, so I don't know what you're talking about. And then he went to the counter and he come back and he said I was chosen. I said, how now? I said, how did I get chosen? Like, that's ridiculous. And so he went to the counter and he grabbed some cards that I had a card stand on the counter there with black and white cards, and they were cards that were made from pictures that I drew for a book called Where the River Brought Them, written by Pat McDonald in Rocky Mountain House. And they were depicting the life and times of when there were forts in the Rocky Mountain House area, because Rocky Mountain House was a fort. That's where it got the name from, right? I didn't know all this when this got started because I didn't grow up there, but it was sort of a learning experience on history, the whole ordeal. Anyways, I ended up painting or drawing, sketching pencil sketches of the forts, which they might have looked like if there were pictures of them, but there weren't any pictures of them. And these forts were drawn by some information that was in the archives about the diggings and things they found, piles of rubble and this and that, and how they figured things
You
were.
actually went out there and tromped through the woods and looked at the locations, didn't
I
you?
did 3 times with like a guy that was like an historian. So he would tell me stuff, and he would tell me what this pile of rubble meant and what that indent in the ground meant, and so on and so on. So we sort of created the image of what these forts might have looked like based on that kind of information. And when I was done, they said, you should be very proud. They said, these forts have never been done before, and they are as historically as accurate as possible. So that was pretty cool. So that went into that book. Anyway, there was 4 different forts that I drew for this article, or for this book. Like, he goes and gets these cards that I had these cards made after the fact of the book and so on. He throws them on the table and he says, that's how you got chosen. I said, what do you mean? He says, I've been sending these pictures of your drawings to the decision makers in Ottawa. I go, what? He says, yeah, they chose you, not me. They chose you because I sent these pictures, and they want you to paint this fort, which is called Acton House, on elk hides for Queen Elizabeth. I go, wow, like, I can't believe that. Like, I don't. Are you sure you don't want to, like, somebody else to do it that's got some background in painting on leather? And no, it has to be you because you did this fort, and no one else has ever done it before. It has to be me, right? So I had to do some research on how to paint on leather and so on, and I figured it out and bought some practice pieces, and then they told me what they wanted on this hide. And at the first they weren't sure, but they knew there was going to be a lot of writing on it, and there was going to be the Queen's crown, and they wanted a ram's head, and the emblem, the Northwest Company Voyagers emblem, or was it Hudson's Bay Company emblem? That's what it was. So I created this image design and then sent it off to them, and then they said, oh, they like this. Could you add this? Could you change this? Could you move this? So it was 3 months of creating the perfect image for them, and then the writing had to be put on it. So it was a very learning experience for me, and to figure out these drawings without looking at something based on information you're given and a little bit.
You had to imagine that entire fort.
Oh yeah, that's why I had to go out there 3 times with this guy, because he wanted me to feel what it might felt like to live in that era of time and to be there.
And you did a lot of research too on David Thompson and some of the other.
Yes, yeah, I got a whole history lesson there that I never got in school. Yeah, it was quite an experience. So that's how I ended up painting for the Queen, because of that one fort.
That's amazing. And then once it was presented to the Queen, what happened next?
Actually, it was accepted by Lieutenant Governor Kwan. I think that's his name. And the Queen's plans got changed for her. So she did arrive in Edmonton the day that the hides arrived. by the way, they were portaged by canoe from Rocky Mountain House as his story is.
Oh my God! They put him in a
tradition.
canoe and they sent him to Edmonton
Yeah,
from Rocky Mountain House.
there was a whole brigade
That's
of canoes
crazy.
left Rocky Mountain House, and they delivered them to Edmonton. And we
Okay, but you said hides. There were more than one hide. What about the
there
other
was
hides?
2 hides and 4 beaver pelts were presented for her on the tradition of paying the rent to the crown for Rupert's land.
So Rupert's land is like almost half of Canada, and we still make payment to the Queen. So your art was the payment for the Queen, for Rupert's land.
Yes, it was part of the payment to the Queen. Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Then okay, so it's a little more after.
Such a deal for her. That's great.
Okay, the hides. A year later, I was told that the Queen gave them back to Alberta, and I thought, what? She didn't like them? What? Well, how come? And they said, oh no, it's because she said these pieces of history and beauty belong in Alberta for Albertans to enjoy and appreciate them. That was her words.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, that's cool. So there was a presentation in Edmonton on the return of these hides, and I was invited, and they had place seatings with your name on it, right front row. I was front row center, and there was a few others that were also front row because there was more than me that participated in this event for presented to the Queen. And we were dubbed with what do you call it?
Did you get knighted? What's that?
We were knighted, yeah.
You were knighted?
We were knighted with spruce boughs.
You mean you're Lady George and I didn't know all this time?
Yeah, we were down on our knees, and then there's been like all these the paddlers that in the brigade. There was a bunch of them that were dressed up like in that era of time it was supposed to be, and they dubbed us, and then we had to stand up, and they gave us a brown jug and no hand wipes or anything. we had to drink the jug and pass it to the next, and it was very sweet. I remember it choked me. It was like, it was awful, but it tasted good too. But it was sweet, and everybody laughed because I was choking. It wasn't that funny, but it was then. Yeah, so then they give me a sash, and they put it on me, and I got to keep the sash. And so like
there was
I was
like a
an
Métis sash?
honorary voyager in that.
Oh,
sash.
a Voyager sash. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's
so,
what it was.
And then you actually were commissioned to paint some for additional provinces, weren't you? Or other legislatures?
Not provinces, but there was I think I ended up with three for sure, commissions on deer hides after I painted that. 4 different people. One was at Slave Lake, and I can't remember.
I thought one was
the other ones was like people that I knew that knew somebody else who wanted something like that.
Oh, I see.
There's one of them is in Greenwater Provincial Park I knew a friend of the guy who got it, so that's how that ended up. And that friend actually got one too for his bed and breakfast. And everybody wanted something different on them, and it was pretty cool. I ended up buying a few hides from a market. I also bought some from a place in Edmonton. But this one behind me, that's one of the deer hides I bought from a lady at a market.
Tilt the camera up a little bit there to smooth the thing so that people can see. That's one of the ones behind you there that's done. Yep, you can see that very well. Yeah. That's awesome. Okay, so then you started to graduate into more mythical type of things and kind of like impressionist kind of work, abstract in more recent years. And I know that you're getting a lot of your inspiration from nature and stuff. But lately, you've been doing a lot of stuff with dragonflies and butterflies and fairies. So where did the inspiration for that come from?
I don't know. I've always been fascinated with anything with color and the shaded areas. Like I'm very strong on detail. I use a lot of detail brushes, more than anybody else, I think. And I can't just do a simple sketch or a drawing. I got to put some detail in it. I don't know how to make it simple. It just doesn't look right to me. So I have to add and add and add. And one of my artist friends used to say, you do the 3 Ps all the time. I says, what do you mean? She says, pick, puddle, and play. Because I take too long to finish something. But that's the way I am.
Yeah, we really like to get the perfection on there. I'm going to actually show what I'm going to actually talk about now, what happened with the line of clothing. So for anyone who knows me, I am Kerry George with CIB and Connect, and we work with business owners all the time. And so for years, I've been trying to figure out how I can help my mom with her art, because she's an incredible artist. Not too many people can say that they painted for the Queen of England, and her art is phenomenal. But mom does not like doing stuff like, first of all, making prints. She's tried that in the past. It's a lot of work. It's a big pain in the hiney. And then also filling the orders. If somebody actually ordered from, a distance for one of her pieces, she does original works of art. So getting it there in the perfect condition is always a challenge. And as she's getting older, it's becoming, even worse. Like it's just a lot of stuff that's got to be done to get a piece of art from, where she lives in Alberta to wherever it is that they are. So building her a website to put this stuff up on wasn't like the best idea. And I've been looking for ways to actually help her with her art over the last few years, and get stuff, out there to the public so they could see how beautiful this is. But, the regular route of a website was really not cutting it. So recently we discovered a designer in Montreal with beautiful clothing line that would let artists put their art onto the clothing, and created a portal where people could buy the clothing, and the artist, the artist does all the art, but the manufacturer of the clothing in Montreal, Canada, actually creates the pieces of clothing and then ships them to wherever, and then pays the artist a commission. So what a brilliant idea. And I think most of the places that I actually put this video up that's running right now, you can actually see the link for her thing underneath there. But I'm going to do a screen share here and show you some of the beautiful pieces that are now available. I know, Tish, isn't that a cool idea? By the way, I see you there, Tish, and I see Darlene. Thank you for all of your comments. Lady George, you're so modest. Lady George. We're going to start putting that on stuff. That's awesome. Okay, I'm just going to see here. Share screen. There we go. And I'm going to go here. And now everyone should be able to see that. I'm just going to follow along on YouTube and make sure that people can see it. All right.
How come I can't see it?
I can't see it either, so I'm wondering if it's not actually doing it yet. Okay. Screen share like that. All right. Now can everybody see it? Let's see what's happening here. It's just following along here to make sure everyone can see the page. So there it is. Okay. All right, so this is the website, and it's absolutely, it's just really cool how it's all put together. We put a nice bio there for Sarah, and then also these are some of the pieces. So as I look at these pieces, Mom, I want you to talk a little bit about, anything, any inspiration that might have come to you. I know this light purple one, you really like the butterflies. Tell us about your love of butterflies.
Well, they're free. The butterflies are free. There's a movie about that too.
Yeah, that's true.
They're just always,
and I love the colors.
Just mystical. I just love them.
Yeah.
Mystical, and dragonflies and butterflies are really, really cool, and and
I see fairies.
They just look good in
here.
anything.
In that particular piece, there's fairies as well as butterflies. Or are they butterflies with I don't know. This looks really cool. I don't know what that is. That's awesome. And then down here, this is the dragonflies. And oh my gosh, the colors in this dragonfly piece is just amazing. And actually, when I was choosing art for the fashion line, I immediately went to that picture because I thought, oh my gosh, anyone who loves, bright, bold colors like this should make great clothing. And sure enough, the designers in Montreal were able to put this. Look at the mask. Look at the dresses. By the way, this line, the butterfly line, the dragonfly line is the hottest selling one right now from the site already. And lots of people really love the colors and getting lots of comments back on the colors. This, I think, is another one that's very popular. The leaves, the red background, and the way that these blend, as they put on the fabric. And I just think it's amazing. I mean, look at the centered line on those dresses. It's just the way that they have taken the leaves and drawn them right across so that the pattern matches throughout the entire garment. Isn't that gorgeous?
I'm just wondering now. It just dawned on me that like some of these pieces I have sold in the past, but I had the picture and that's where you got it from.
Yeah.
And they don't know about this clothing line, but one of these days they're going to see somebody wearing that thing. They're going to think, oh, I have that painting. It's going to be weird.
Well, they're all originals. So it's like, it's not like there were a lot of prints made of this stuff. So to wear the original pieces on the art is just amazing.
There were no prints made of it.
Yeah. So this is it. This is the only print that was ever made of these pieces, which is amazing. And like, look at this one here. She loves to do a lot of scenery with animals in it. Small animals is one of her areas of expertise. And so I added a few items for men in here. Some men's shirts, t-shirts, long sleeve shirts, short sleeve shirts. And there were a few patterns that I thought, man, these would be great for a men's shirt. And they're so popular. Actually, some of the women were asking, can I get that in a women's shirt? So you'll be happy to know we recently added this green one in a women's t-shirt as well, because we were getting requests for that. And then these ones, this is a beautiful winter scene. And not only were we able to put it on some pieces of clothing, we also have added some things like cushions and shower curtains. So people can actually purchase stuff for their home. Men's underwear. Every man should have underwear with some of Mom's art on it, I think.
Underwear signed by Sarah George. That's funny.
Yeah. And then there is this one here was one of hers called, I think this painting is called Reflections or Reflecting. And so it's a winter scene, perfect for winter, perfect for making the house look nice. It's a nice t-shirt. We've got colors there available for men. And then we did add a few things like some scarves and some of these ones as well. Such a beautiful, bright, brilliant green.
By the way, that particular painting just sold at the art show here on the weekend.
Amazing. So again, off of an original piece of work. I love that it also gave us the opportunity to make plus size clothing. Not all of us are a size 3. So some of us are a size 3. It's just got an X behind it.
Right.
So there's some beautiful pieces of clothing there. And, you can see them mixing and matching too, where you can do something like, buy the pants and then, this Nikki duster here. This is a sweater that would match and be a perfect match. And so some of these clothes are available in the plus sizes as well. We tried to give a good size range so that people could, have choices. And then the Dragonflies plus one down there, I think it's called the Mia. What is this here? Oh, by the way, when you click on something like this, look how it opens up, and it actually shows you what the back looks like. And then it shows you the cloth fabric garment and how it wears on the body. So you kind of have an idea of what it's going to look like when you get that. And then there is a picture of the art up close and personal like that as well. So you get more details when you click on any of the pictures on the site. Tells you more about how it's going to actually look on you. So it's a good idea to do that. Then you come down here. Look at this one. Do you remember painting this one?
Yeah.
With this beautiful fairy on it.
Yeah, I have more fairies too. We could do more fairy ones. I have some already.
Yeah, I think in the spring we'll do a bunch more fairies. And I know that we've been getting requests. And by the way, I think we would take requests. So if people have ideas or things or colors that they'd like to see in the next line, that would be awesome. I think one of the requests that's been coming in is for angels. And I know that you like to paint angels as well.
It's been a while, but I have painted angels. Yeah.
Yeah, angels are, I think people like the mystic ideas of different things like that. So I think that's a hot item. So anyways, these are some of the designs, and you can see they're just beautiful. They just keep, and you can see we got scarves, we got dresses. If you like more subtle colors, this is one that people who like the softer pastels and the subtle colors may really enjoy this particular line. We call it Autumn Walk, and it's just got some beautiful trees and scenery on it. So there's a lot there to choose from, and these are the original pieces of art that were used in the designs. And so you can see more there when you go to the website, and we posted the website underneath, so you can find more information about how to do that. So lots there. Yeah, we sell underwear. Ellen sells underwear. See? I think it's under. If it's not underneath, I might not have put it into the WEN group. Oh my God, I got to go put it into the WEN group. I know I posted it underneath my personal page, the link, but I'll go into the WEN group, Tish, and put the link right there underneath as soon as we're done here so that you guys can have it. But yeah, it's been beautiful. It's been really nice to see the response too. We've been getting people responding from all over North America, buying pieces of clothing. And the way this was set up, it was like when Mom sold $500, she graduated and got like extra bonus things. And they let her do more on it. And when she got 1,000, they let her do more on it. So it's been lots of fun. There's more designs that are going to come out actually tomorrow. There'll be a few more. But if you see anything there that you like, you probably should buy it today, because there is a special on for the Black Friday special that's done by the people who make the clothing. They add this special. It's a 30% off special that is only until this evening. So if you're watching this on Sunday, the 28th, you might want to make your order right away, and it should get to you in time for Christmas if you're in North America. That's what they have told us. So I'm really excited about that. I've ordered several pieces. I'm going to be decked out in my mother's art. And I know we've ordered several pieces for Sarah too. She doesn't know that yet, but she also is going to be decked out in her own art.
That's going to be fun. Are we going to be dressed the same, Kerry?
No. I did not order us the same outfit. But I'm going to actually post this. I don't know if we can see this, but I'll see if it works. Tish, you can tell me if it comes through. I just made a post there, and it says that's the link to the fashion line. And if you don't see it there immediately, by the way, you can also see this is streaming live into YouTube right now, as well as into the Women's Entrepreneur Network Facebook group and a few other groups on Facebook. But you should be able to see it, the link to where to buy underneath in most of those groups, and also on YouTube if you're watching along on YouTube. And yeah, so I'm really excited about this, and I think that I think we've got a home run here, Mom. This is your art on women's clothing. Looks phenomenal. Who knew?
Not me.
We had no idea that this was going to look this great. Thank you, Tish. Tish went and found it and posted it. Yay.
Cool.
Awesome. So now all the groups should be able to see the link to actually go to the website and to purchase. And I hope that, if you're watching this today on the 28th, take advantage of the sale. And if you're watching it another day in the future, still go look and see what's going on. We have a beautiful line that we've put out now for 2021 for the fall and winter. And we're going to be back with new designs come spring. So, and I'm sure there will be new pieces of clothing that will be spring-like and summer-like as well as we go on. So we're just getting started with this. So it's going to be exciting to see where it goes. Are you jacked? Are you as jacked as I am? So I know I was actually going to give this to my mom for Christmas. That was the first plan. Initially, I made this website. I got all the pieces in there, started figuring out how this worked, starting to figure out how to be a fashionista. By the way, apparently you can't just do that overnight. It took a little bit of study. Who knew? And anyway, I got into it, and then I got everything up and loaded, and it was live. And I thought, oh, it needs this, it needs that. I was tweaking it, and I was actually going to order her some stuff and not tell her about it till Christmas. But the pieces came up, and they were so beautiful. I couldn't help myself. I was like, oh, Francois, we've got to drive to see Mom tomorrow. And then I woke up the next morning, and a few more of the articles of clothing had been approved, and I put them in, and I was just buzzing with such excitement. I couldn't even drive to see her. It's an hour's drive or more to go to her. And I was like, I can't drive to see her. I've got to call her. And she was kind of tired when I called her or something. She's like, I'm like, you got to get online and see this. She's like, I don't know if I want to. I'm like, no, you do. You really do. You got to do it right now. Oh, you were in the middle of getting ready for an art show.
I was getting ready for the art show. I had no time to get on a web thing with you.
I know. She was like, this is a big sale day that was about to happen like the next day. And she had all of this work that had to be done because she's putting finishing touches on pieces of art and preparing the display and all this kind of stuff. And here now her daughter wants like 15 minutes to show her something. And she's like, I have no time for this. I'm very busy. I'm going, you're going to want to make time for this. Trust me. So I get her on Zoom and I walk her through it. And what was your response when you first saw this?
I was like, I was amazed. I was overwhelmed. I couldn't believe what I was looking at. It was awesome. I said, how did you do this? Like, what is this? Like, what? I think there was
it was just brilliant. It just was. I mean, the pieces of clothing that came out. I had a few years, or about 2 years ago, I had a lady in the network who I believe used the same thing to produce a line of clothes. And I was able at a trade show to touch this cloth and to see it before we started doing this. So I kind of knew what the quality was. So I think everyone who orders is going to be very, very happy. It's delightful. You're going to find that the quality of cloth is very nice. It lays very nice on the body. One of the things that you want to do when you're looking at the picture, the first picture shows the front, the second picture will show the back. And then there's a third picture that will show another item of clothing that was made using the type of fabric. Now the color is going to be different, but you're going to be able to see how it lays on the body. And if you want to know how it's going to fit, that's important. There's also sizing charts right there in the pictures so that you can see what that sizing chart is looking like. And for example, if you are, whatever you are, if you're a size small, you're a size large, you're a size, 2X, I believe it goes to 3X on the plus size clothing, you're going to be able to see a little bit more about how that's going to fit. And you're going to have some idea of how it's going to lay. So I know somebody was just asking me about the fitting choice for the tunic. And I think you're talking about the tunic that is in the plus sizes there. It's a really good idea to have a look at the actual tunic that is there on the third picture that will kind of show you. Now, what you got to understand is if you are a smaller size, that tunic is going to have a little bit of a curve, an indent around the waist. But when you are a size 3X, okay, it does hang more like a sack. It has to, okay? we got a little bit more bold and beautifulness there. And we don't want it hugging right at that spot, right? It's got to have some space for, for the body in there. So that's why, the shape difference is going to be a little bit different on somebody who's, thin or curvy going in versus somebody who is, shaped
Curvy going out.
Yeah, I mean, we have different shapes of body. You've got the hourglass, you've got the pear. I think I'm more like an apple. Right. So, but the fabric choices and the designs and with all that beautiful color, man, that's just going to look beautiful. It's going to look beautiful on someone. So you just, be free and pick colors that you love. And yeah, thanks, Tish. See, we got some others in the group that are also different fruit sizes. So, and I really appreciated that about the site when I first saw it, was that, man, there were size choices there available for us immediately so that we could, sample some of this. I find it quite, I don't know. It's like you go into a store, you see something hanging in the window, and then you walk in and it's not in your size, right? And I know in the mall, I've gone through, you walk through this. I remember one time I was going down the thing in the mall, and I look over and I see this dress, and I was actually thinking it would be good for my daughter, who is very small and curvy. And so I went in the door and I started to ask the price, and the sales girl was very rude. She goes, "We don't have anything in your size." And I just looked at her, and then I said, it was kind of funny because I all of a sudden recognized myself in her 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And I looked at her and I said, "Honey, I used to look exactly like you do right now. Get ready for this." Clothes should make us feel beautiful. It doesn't matter what your size is. We're women. I have a women's group, actually. It's called Women Entrepreneurs, Bold, Beautiful, and in Business, right? And you know what? It's not the size of the body. It's the size of the heart that matters as an entrepreneur and as a woman and as a leader in life. So may your heart be really big and bold. Awesome. Well, I am looking at someone's. That's Gisela watching along today. Hello. You're looking forward to the spring collection. There will be more awesome designs in the spring, and we're just really excited about what's happening with us. Anything you want to share in closing today, Mom?
Well, I don't know. You caught me off guard. You didn't warn me about that I have to speak.
Well, you thought you were just going to sit there and look pretty?
Yeah, try.
You got this.
Well, I can say that I'm excited about this, and that I'm looking, already thinking in my head, okay, what can I paint that's gonna look good on clothes? I never thought of it that way before, but
I know, that is so true. Because when I went looking at your clothing now, or like at your pictures, and I started matching it to the clothing, I was amazed at how beautiful they came out. Like at first I just picked 3 patterns and three pieces of art, and it made like 9 pieces of clothing. And when it came back, my mouth was just hanging open. I was like, oh my God, this looks amazing on clothing. And I think what I started with was that light purple lilac one with the flower, or the butterflies and the fairies on it. And the other one was the one that's got yellows and oranges with fairies on it. And so those were 2 of the first ones that I looked at. The other one's the dandelion, abstract dandelion picture. And when they came back, I was just like, that is amazing. And what they do with it too, how they lined it up so that the patterns are like, if you notice, they don't cut off a chunk of leaf and lay cloth over it. Like the leaves are like right across into the next piece. So the whole fabric is very fluid. So they really do some great design work with the art. They don't just slap it on there. It's not like, those t-shirts you buy that's got a piece of art like in a square on the center of the just sticking out right as a square on the center of the t-shirt. This is actually woven in and designed in a way that you can see, the whole thing. Actually, I'm just going to share that with you. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about here, because I don't know if I'm covering that well enough. When I do the share screen here, like this, okay, and I go here. Okay, so look at this. See this purple cloth right here, and how all the leaves are on it? You see that? Well, when they turn that into a garment, they don't chop off leaves as they sewed the garment together. Okay, so if I come up to the top here where you see the garment in action, I think you can really see it here on this kimono. So we open this up. Look at this. Do you see how the back, even the back when it's hanging on a cloth, like hanging on a hanger, how it's matching the front? Isn't that amazing? And when you look at the back of this garment, it's going this way here. Look at how it flows right into the back so that the pattern is extended all the way through. So, and then of course you can see that the kind of fabric here is a kind of a sheer fabric as it hangs on the person. And this was the original piece of art that was used to do that. Do you see the work and the detail that they went through to get that pattern to be such a beautiful flow of motion right from the back to the sides to the front? And even as you put this on, this is going to look lovely from you stick a body in here from one side to the other. It is just amazing what they have done with this. And I think I noticed it first on the red ones. See, look at this one here. Isn't that something? Look at here's a beautiful red dress here. Do you see how those leaves, like these are two pieces, or the fabric is the pattern going over each other, and look how these leaves go over each other into the other part. It's amazing. There's no chopping off of the picture of the leaf. It's just absolutely gorgeous how they have done that. And then of course here we can again see what it would look like on a body. And that was the original art right there. And you see in the original art how there are two shifts of color here, from kind of an orangier red to a different shade of red here, like this kind of like a line through that. And they capitalized on that and put it through the center of the garment. It's just amazing. I'm blown away, really, of how they did that. As just something.
Technology is great.
Isn't it like what they were able to do with that work? That's some detail that wasn't just slapped on there. And that's why when I was creating it, I picked the art, I send it in, and then I have to wait for them to come back. It doesn't just go up like it's an automated thing. Like it actually goes through a line of approval from their end with their designers to make sure that it's all going to look lovely on the garment before I get to see it again. Isn't that cool? Amazing. And if there's if I do see a flaw in anything, I was able to actually send it back to them too and say, did you catch this? Because in the one garment, the men's shirt, actually, I'll show you here. Again, it's so much easier to do if I just share. On the men's shirt here, share. I had to walk myself through this. Okay, so we go back to that beautiful shirt that has the green in it. This one here, and this was actually the garment here. I selected this beautiful picture. You can actually see down at the bottom. This was the picture. Okay. Now, look how the foxes and the what is that, Mom? What kind of bird is that? The blue one. It's a blue jay. So we have two beautiful. You got these beautiful animals in the scene. And when I first used this piece of art, this particular one came back and it had cut off the foxes. So I came back to them and said, hey, I need that moved up. And they were so gracious. They went back and they fixed it, and they moved it up on the garment so that you could see the foxes beautifully on that. Isn't that something? So it really just looks lovely. You can see the whole fox and all of the little animals in their little cave there. And made such a beautiful, beautiful picture. So it was really great that we were able to do that. Awesome. So new projects. Mom, what are we going to do next? Take over the world?
Well, next I have some commissions for Christmas, so I got to take care of them first.
Okay. Well, I think that we have everything that we need. I know, like I said, in the next day or two, there's going to be a few more new designs going up there. So you're going to want to keep your eye on that site. But if you want the specials and you want it to arrive before Christmas, I'd make your order today, because it's a 30% discount ordering today. So, definitely check into that. And then once these new designs go up tomorrow or whenever they get posted, we won't be adding any more designs to it until the spring. And then we'll come up with a new spring line and probably new spring garments, all kinds of fun stuff. And by then we're going to be decked head to toe in Sarah George's beautiful, illustrious wear. You're going to be seeing me on my lives wearing these gorgeous garments by Sarah George. So can't wait. All right, guys, have a great day. Happy capitalism, and may all your Black Friday selling things go well, and may all of your Black Friday sales buying end well as well. And have a great week, and look forward to seeing you again. I'll be back tomorrow. I think tomorrow is Monday, so I will be back at 11 Mountain Time, and looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Happy capitalism.
And send in your requests for color coordinates, for I can create something of the colors of your choices. If there's something particular you'd like to see in shades,
Perfect.
I can give it a go.
Awesome. Talk to you soon. Happy capitalism.